5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Oh boy, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Oh. Oh man. This is pretty dope. Whoa, BlizzCon? The next chapter.
For Azeroth!
Why do I have German subtitles? There we go. I had German subtitles.
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazzikostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft. But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently and what you're going to see in the upcoming year.
I mean, really, for Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them, and us realizing as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard. And so that led us to the changes we made in 9.15, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.15 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.15 into Eternity's End and beyond.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it. And we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
I will never go back to WoW Classic.
And ran with it.
I love WoW retail too much.
As a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became.
I want that Arthas statue behind there, and I have that Illidan one.
Core mode that we've seen communities built around. Lots of thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah. And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We
Smart.
wanted to
What's
balance
up, bro?
the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without.
They're talking about Classic right now, Smart.
So, influence the community. You've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 9.25. Which is on our public test ROM now as a big centerpiece.
Cross-faction. Yep. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is.
Midori, welcome in.
Really, we try to take to heart community feedback and requests.
I thought they were going to start off with the cinematic.
to accommodate such an earnestly held desire.
They should have started
and
off with a
still feel like they're
cinematic.
being true to the
I
roots
know,
of the game.
Toph. They should have
Players'
started off
desire to play
with a
their friends
cinematic
who might
and
prefer
then
different
go over all
factions,
this
or to
recap
play with the
after.
faction
But
that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important
Smart.
for me. I play a
Hope
lot
you're
of
doing well,
alts,
bud.
and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day,
I
the
guess
battle
you're right,
cry
Toph.
is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about pride in one's faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players the ability to make the same choice. We've
I
seen
see
the
you,
greatest heroes
Toph.
make
They're
time
holding
and
out,
time
bro.
again.
They're
I
holding
can't wait
out.
to
That's
do
what's
this.
going
I'm seeing a
on.
lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing.
I'm excited for
Kick off
cross-faction.
Shadowlands.
Honestly,
Season 4.
I really
A
am.
remix, a little bit-
I think
a bit
that's
of
gonna
greatest
be
hits, revisiting all of our raids
better.
across the expansion.
I don't
bringing
know.
in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus
Smart.
rotation.
No worries, bud.
And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next, and what will come next, want to give a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
I'm watching
There's
on
a lot
YouTube
to
as well, Ven.
explore.
That's where
Very
I'm watching.
exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW.
Come on, let's see it.
Without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
Yes, cinematic! Cinematic! Hold on, Ven. Haven't seen it. 10,000 years ago. Oh my, oh, look at that.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must
Yes.
come to its aid.
Yo.
We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers.
Oh, wow. That's sick. The Watchers.
Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then you must light the beacon of Tearhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sheesh. Got mold on him. 10,000 years later, heck yeah. This is so cool. What is going on? Yo. His face is completely gone. Holy. He's like the only one left. Oh, this is like a Titan Forge. No way. He's like the only one left. breaking it. His hands are breaking. Whoa. Man, I feel sad for the stone statue. Oh no. Oh no. I got attached to him. Oh! Alexstrasza! Ah! Yes! 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 Dragons!
The world is healing.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
her fate
so
is
cool.
yet uncertain.
That is so cool. WoW is saved!
Together,
WoW
we
is
shall be
saved!
Azeroth's
Ah!
protectors once again. Here,
All the different
new
Dragonflight.
age of dragons shall begin.
Fuck yes! Yes! Let's go! Woo! Okay, now let's see the systems.
Dragons!
Dragons.
Dragons!
So cool.
No one saw it coming.
No
I
one
know.
saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously,
Carefully
I mean,
kept secret.
what
That
did
was
we just
sick.
see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but
Oh.
also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles. It's
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Oh,
Can you talk a little
4
bit about
leveling
how
zones.
The team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments.
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic
Here there
activity,
be dragons.
the icy wastes of the Azure Span, and each one of those has a connection to a Dragonflight that we've seen before.
And a new
it's an
starting
amazing
zone.
place for players to arrive at and explore.
all right. You know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race.
New
The
playable
Dracthyr
race.
Yeah.
This is a
That's
second
sick!
draconic race
That's
that dragons
sick!
in Warcraft
Spyro!
have the ability to
It's
take on
Spyro,
a humanoid
dude.
Form.
That's a
What
Spyro.
classes can they be?
I get to
They
be a
have
Spyro.
Unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new
Balthier,
race,
I'm so
but
excited.
It's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of
No
Warcraft, and not just
way,
ally
that's
race, is
so
something that we don't do
dope.
lightly, but telling this
I'm so
expansion
excited.
story so focused around dragons.
Woof.
felt
Hell
like the
yes.
perfect time for it. So if you are a Dracthyr, you will be the Evoker class. Dracthyr can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Dracthyr. And the reason why only a Dracthyr could be an Evoker is that an Evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Dracthyr has. The ability to actually take flight,
Midori,
do an
dude,
Initiative
this
style,
class.
taking deep breaths
Oh my
over the
god.
battlefield, land
This,
on
I
the
want to
other
be that
side,
class so
knock
bad.
everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your
This
magical
class is going to be
abilities.
too
please.
freaking OP.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either ranged DPS or healer, and they wear male armor.
Oh,
We
that's
figured,
so
with the new
sick.
hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee. We don't need more of those. And also, probably don't need any more leather wares.
The raid leaders are gonna love you for that.
Exactly.
I
This is
love
definitely a hero
dragons,
class. And
Midori.
so that means that, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are
No
sailing
way.
there from other parts of Azeroth.
It's what
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Dracthyr character?
Basically anything and everything. Skin
No
color, hair color,
way!
jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of
It's like
your
a
identity
worgen.
in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
Yep.
new race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
Of course, the new expansion brings with it, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these.
It does
deep
look like
features
Skyrim, Vin.
that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard loud and clear from players that it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system.
So what's going to be
is
the new
something we want to
levels?
completely revamp.
Because that
We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way.
I remember
But also,
I remember Kata,
that sense of hybridity
where you could put it
that
all-
you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system
There it
avoids
is.
directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid choices, because we know that there's always a right outcome there. And we also understand
New
that
talent
there's a lot
tree
of strength in
system.
the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map. All my
They are
bosses,
literally
over
remaking it.
here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So
And you're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp. This is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players.
I want to see this new
Can I
UI.
reduce elements, remove elements. If I
Oh,
want to
that's-
explore the world
that's
and
pretty
see
dope.
The beauty of Azeroth.
When it comes
Whoa,
to
it
specific
looks
elements,
way
we want to
different.
want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned professions.
Midori, just sub.
I have a critical question about this.
Just sub.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker,
Oh, wow.
we want to deliver the ability
Oh,
to
look at that. That looks
invest
way different.
time and energy into that. Become a master crafter. Be able to make
Well,
items
Balthier,
that are
that's why
in
there's still
demand,
add-ons, so-
interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new
Midori,
world order
just
system
resub.
to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission.
Oh,
and
really?
A skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
No
I think
way.
we left out one thing though.
That's sick.
You can be a Dracthyr, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of
Dragons!
if
I
you're
want a dragon!
Pouring over the lands. And so we're really excited
No way.
to introduce a feature that we're calling Dragonriding. It's
Dragon
dynamic
riding?
with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability
No
to
way.
build that
Fuck
speed
yes.
up and feel the world rushing
Yes.
past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available
Hell yes.
for players through a
Dive
customizable
bomb?
dragon mount right from the start.
So
Customal. Whoa.
this is a skill you learn over time, right, to become an awesome dragon rider?
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course,
No
very
way.
thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that
How
everyone
to train
has,
your dragon.
but a drake that is yours. You know, what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists
That's
of
so
5
sick.
zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone for our Dracthyr class, as well as a range of systems.
The Dracthyr is just so
such as
cool.
a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of Dragonriding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that
You can
fly and
customize
ascend
your
from the
dragon
start.
mount.
And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information and keep an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're going to go next.
Wrath.
One of the
They're going with
all-time
Wrath.
favorite expansions for
They're
World
going
of
with-
Warcraft.
they're going with
Let's
Wrath.
watch the cinematic.
Dubu, thank you so much. Dubu, thank you so much for the follow. How you doing? WoW 2 does look pretty cool.
Had forgotten. Did you think we had
Balthair, I am hyped as F as well. I'm so hyped.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name
Arthas.
Arthas.
Boom!
When my days have come to an end,
Yes, Dubu.
shall be king.
I would like to play Wrath Classic, but I don't want to level up to be able to do Wrath Classic. Sheesh.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Every time
Invoker,
I see the
2 DPS,
cinematic,
it's
I
1
get
DPS
chills.
class
No pun
and a
intended,
healer.
I do, I
Actually,
get
2.
chills. As you saw, Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son. So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice falling off and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room and I jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah, did it.
It's like the
So
Demon Hunter,
it
right? So
lasted
1
until
range
for me.
DPS and a heals, right?
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some time.
I might
before
make a
Wrath
Death Knight
Classic
on WoW
launches
Classic.
to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And
I
there are
might
so
make a
many
Death
zones
Knight
and
on WoW
areas to
Classic.
explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a very special place in my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced
Yeah.
in World of Warcraft.
Grizzly Hills has some
Still
great
I made my
music.
way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time lost proto-drake and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonflight. The wide open nature of the zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it, it's an unforgettable expansion as both a developer and a player and kind of making that transition from one to the other.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups,
Dragon
relying on
abilities
each
would be
other,
dope.
Not wanting
If, like,
necessarily a
Dragon-esque
random
abilities,
participant just to
CO,
show up
that'd be
and then
really
leave.
dope.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, You can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listen to the community and we remove that because individual rating is
I kind of loved it.
preferable,
I kind of
better
love it.
experience for
Smart.
them
Are you
than
excited?
arena
I'm
teams.
hella excited.
Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character. We're going to be adding a few more options.
Yeah, Toph, I get you on the
not
spark there.
existing
Trying to
when
like
Wrath
relive
launched.
it isn't
But
the
also there's
greatest.
another side
But I
of
also
this
I didn't
where
spend much
we
time
are
in
not
Wrath.
gonna charge
It's like
a real
Kata
money
for
fee. It
me.
was a paid
If
character
I was to try to
customization fee.
relive
Yeah.
Kata,
It seems
that'd
the
be
right
weird.
thing to do,
And
that
you know,
just be available in game for gold, and we add more options to it, right?
It's sort of like spell batching in the
Smart.
sense.
It's
There's a
gonna
lot
be
of technical
amazing.
advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes classic classic and what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience, and let's not artificially restrict something that we can provide a better version of just for the sake of nostalgia. And we're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So, Wrath, the level cap is being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that. You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise. And of course, we have Inscription, a whole new profession, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, and as we continue this road,
Yeah, both
to
here.
Wrath, we're going to be looking to getting a lot more.
I
feedback
know
on
there
beta,
needs to
and
be
we'll make
player
changes as we
housing.
need to.
Like,
Such an
dude,
exciting time to be
FF14
playing
has
World of
capitalized
Warcraft.
on that
We
so
have the
much. There
return
really
of
does
Wrath
need
of the
that.
Lich King
I don't know
for
why they
classic
didn't-
fans, and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these.
I don't know if
adventures
they
to
feel
you.
that
Don't
system
forget,
is not
there's
gonna
a
be good.
Deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
And in the Dragon Isles.
Oh, it's a deep dive. Woo, we're doing the deep dive. All this is recorded, by the way. I'm gonna be putting it up on YouTube. Just one.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dragonflight Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory. Starting it off here, we're going to talk about the setting
Yes.
and the story
Yes.
of
Let's go.
Dragonflight.
We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk
Pre-rendered.
about the setting for
Of course.
Dragonflight, the Dragon Isles.
Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place.
True,
where
a customizable
the dragons
dragon.
came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's Kingdom when the world was young and the mortal
Ancient
races were
Azeroth.
just
Azeroth
starting
used to be
form
all
kingdoms
together,
of their own.
like
But
Pangea.
when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the
Yeah.
explosion of the Well of Eternity,
Literal,
broke the world.
literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers
Pangea.
to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home and reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects
Dude.
once again, and for Alex Straza
I
and
want
the
high
others to come
graphics
home. But
dragons
the land has
and WoW,
changed a
though.
lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as well.
We're looking into the culture of dragons as they exist in Warcraft.
Dragons, as we know them today, were very different in the early past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage, what we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good, in the case of most of the aspects,
A
but
Dragon
also
Isles
for
movie
nefarious
would be
reasons in
freaking
the case
dope.
of the Black
Yes.
Dragonflight, led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is
Galakrond,
an
yep.
opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that,
They
they're
did
going to need the
Alex
help of our
Straza
heroes,
so
our players,
well.
to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges. Because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. there's those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jaredin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just by the Jaredin. There's also many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles that have been here either just recently or for a while, including a fan favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's gonna be awesome. We've got other cultures there as well in the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out about a civilization of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor much later.
And some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
And whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of
I will make do with the dragon race.
I think one thing
dragon race.
Players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Dracthyr.
The Dracthyr, that's
and
so cool.
this is something that Neltharion, before he was Deathwing, before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Dracthyr.
Oh, that's so
Exploration
cool.
is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find.
They're going to make this more
treasures and
flying
little
influence
secrets
because of it
tucked
being
away.
dragons.
It's going to be a lot of fun
too.
for players to be exploring these landscapes.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying to return to that, to try to find your legacy.
Then I get you.
To try to figure out who you were before everything went awry. But there's questions, thematic.
Maybe they'll add it
questions
down the
of
way, smart.
What does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had
That's
to.
very new.
And
Yeah, we get
I
to
think
fly
that's
out right
one of
off the bat.
reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look, upon the Dragon Isles and all of its visual
Yes,
splendor,
they're embracing
I'm so
it. They're
excited
structuring
for
it
the prospect of a
around
truly
that.
Azerothian adventure alongside Calicos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flight. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure.
I think they
and
will.
just new horizons.
CO, they
within
kind of
this
have to be.
world.
If it's
There's going to
flying,
be old
they're structuring
stories
it
from
around
that time
flying. I feel
past,
like
that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
I think so. Oh, features, guys, features. Let's see the features.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
Features.
I'm Josh,
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
and we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Onaran Plains. The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to is the Waking Shores. It's
Shores.
wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too, and the elements are just going crazy.
The art team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're gonna get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity.
Oh, it's another.
It's free for all out there. It's gonna be great.
It's a new
But it's
PvP.
okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
Oh, that's dope.
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers, This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring
just
this
world
new land. So
PvP.
it's a lot more optimistic
call out.
tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led
Yes.
by Queen Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of nurturing and protecting all life.
Then
which
it's gonna
means
be
Horde and
cr-
Alliance,
it's gonna be
Gorloks,
Horde and
Trolls,
Alliance together,
everybody.
though.
So they take that duty seriously.
Not in world PvP,
when
but-
the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there to help guide the people through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so
Yeah, I'd say.
Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's gonna try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jardins so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma. And when the Waking Shores and the Dragon Isles went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive.Ey're riding giant lava mammoths, parading around, just stomping on your face.
And
Their
they were
overreactions
the enemies
are
of
just
the
great.
Dragonflight for so
It's kinda
long.
funny.
They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking this opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just
I want
stomp
high
out
graphics
the
WoW
Jarden
just for
completely. But they want to make sure
dragons.
that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Steph, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What?
This is true. Ducks.
We finally have
Ducks.
those webbed feet hooligans in our game. We cracked the technology.
They
We've
can
got them
figure
in.
it out. They
Yep.
can fly.
You should
They
be
have
proud.
ducks.
It's gonna be awesome.
The Onaran Plains come right after the Waking Shores. It's so breathtaking at first glance.
The Onaran plains are big, wide open plains. And the player is going to be constricted a little bit, and then you see this big contrast of a zone. We don't always get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the player can have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard
Jerry,
shot
Jerry,
of
Jerry.
the plains. And then you see this giant fire proto-dragon breathing fire and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon and crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Onara?
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's
Oh.
appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many years ago.
Wow.
She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
Midori, we get to be
Fun
dragons.
at the
Or
beginning
we
of this expansion
I
was
can't wait.
exploring the culture of the centaur.
The centaur are these mighty,
What's interesting
awesome
is
hunters.
you get to
that
be a
back when they
dragon
first came
race
to
and
the
you get to
Dragon
ride
Isles,
dragons.
They fought the green dragons all day long. Eventually, they realized that we're strong, you're strong. Maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace. We'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves, and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now, the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far since then. And they've been here, and they've been existing and developing their culture. They
Dragon
all
on
came over
dragon
as
action.
One clan led by the mighty Maruk and Tira, and they founded a new life here.
True,
So if
Ven.
you want to get
True.
across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations upon generations. The centaur might rule the open plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy.
Furry and scaly
We want to do
stocks.
lots of things with an open plane, and we want to be creative with them. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the story. We certainly couldn't have done that in the vanilla WoW.
No, definitely not. The zones are so big and you can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers and we actually increased that distance.
It
Midori,
spurs you on to
this
want to
expansion will
adventure
come
and
out
look
for
through the
almost
zone and
a
explore
year or
everything.
more.
The
So
interesting thing for me
you have a
is we
while,
have all these
but
conflicts
once it
with the
releases,
Dragonflights.
just
There's
play it because I'm
missing
going to be playing
dragons,
it.
There's battles. There's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and help solve all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now we're gonna have some folks talking about the next two zones that players are going to experience in the Dragon Isles.
Yeah, Azur, Span, and Thaldrazus. Drazus?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Thaldrazus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the third zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept art. When we first were taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which was Grizzly Hills.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more. And I don't know if you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods, and that sun
Yes.
shines through. That's really what
It
we
does.
wanted to
It does
encapsulate
do that.
with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this
Yep.
wide open tundra.
You
that's
got
just
it, Balthier.
golden and red,
I
and
noticed
it'll
it
reach
too.
up to another
Right
level
there, look.
of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. And Sean, I know in the forest, we can expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Knolls.
The
These
Knolls.
Knolls are all throughout the forest and Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some Knolls
that's
strange
sick.
magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow Knolls. or as
Oh
I call
my
them, the
God, it
Snolls,
reminds me of Lion King.
up in the
That one
winter
reminds me
area,
of
and
Lion
some regular
King.
Knolls that are just
They
gonna
look
be
like
on the
from
forest
Lion
area.
King.
So then we go into the big open tundra where we meet our second group, the Tuskar.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture a lot more.
And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime's probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since we've seen them. We remember the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. They're also getting a nice cool upres for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are gonna be male Tuskar, female Tuskar, Tuskar kids. So we're gonna fight alongside them. which
Right,
includes
priestess?
Help from a certain group of dragons, the blue dragons.
Yes.
We're gonna follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's gonna be adventuring into Syndragos' archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot
Do it again,
of
do it
surprises.
again. Yep.
We're done there. We head over to
Mufasa.
Thaldrazus.
Thaldrazus. It's really incredible because
sick.
you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the dragon buildings. But when you get to Thaldrazus, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 Dragonflights and home of the dragons.
This is so cool.
It feels that way.
Is
with
it- this is
the
probably gonna be
huge
the new-
vertical
where the-
mountains.
this
We've
is gonna
got
be where
these
the new-
great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite Dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Thaldrazus.
Yeah, the
and
new
their
UI
magic
is gonna be
time.
great, Midori.
There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options. And we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
We really wanted it to feel
He
like
doesn't-
their old stomping grounds.
He doesn't
One
even
of
know how
the
to
really
react.
Cool features
He's in a
is
room
going
with
to
all
be
women.
The main city and player hub for
He's
this
just like-
expansion, Valdrakken. It is a culmination of all of the dragon's efforts to put together what a
Valdrakken.
city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue Dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green
They have
Dragonflights
really
both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have
progressed this,
some convenience services for
like,
players, including
this-
an auction
these
house in
areas,
the
man,
city.
they almost
Which
look
will be really nice
finished.
if you're looking for more exotic
So
wares.
PTR
The thing
would
that
probably
really
be by the
sold
end of
me
this
on
year.
Thaldrazus was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place and filled with so much history.
That's cool.
Tierhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakrond. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles,
Galakrond.
he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Lights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical.
I think it's so
I'm just
cool that
excited
you
to,
can do like little
dive
tricks
off the
on
tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
Nice. Dracthyr, Evoker, and Dragonriding.
I'm Jake. I'm Andy.
I'm Kali.
And I'm Graham. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about the Dracthyr Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also Dragonriding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
fine.
But a draconic
I would
human.
love to.
So the Dracthyr, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero classes, you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the
Cambo,
Dracthyr
welcome
are
in, buddy.
created by an aspect, they have the ability to wield the magic of all 5 Dragonflights. So Evokers can take advantage of red magic and blue magic and bronze magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic effect. This prismatic effect is basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast. You have a red magic spell called Pyre. So when you
That's
shoot
so
it out of
sick.
your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your
Oh.
enemies and exploding and hopefully burning them. And
I'll take that one. Getting that vibe across that they use
Every-
all
well,
5
there's
is
gonna be
really
so
important
many
to us, but
dragons
we did
around,
want to make sure
dude.
that each specialization focused on 2, because casting 5 different colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer specialization, their first of 2, Devastation, mostly focuses on red and blue magic. Red being very fast and explosive, burning everything with Pyre, whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
there's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green
Cambo?
and your bronze
He is,
magic.
yep.
So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation, which all make you feel very powerful, we really wanted the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new type of spell called Empower, where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up the spell. The longer you charge it up, you might do
Empower.
more damage or hit more targets depending on the spell. But it gives you this really physical connection and control that's new for World of Warcraft, and I think is feeling really, really good.
What do
We
you
have
guys
some
think about
great
that?
Animations. Thank you, Andy. Your
You
team.
love it, Andy.
You feel
That's
physical
interesting.
when you're
That's the
casting
first
your
spell
spells.
like
You
that.
can actually fly around the battlefield and cast while you're flying.
Raining fire and death from above. It's great.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another
voice
part of
squeaked right
feeling
there.
draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons breathing fire,
Oh
but
my
you know what's
God,
actually
yes, let's
fire?
go.
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic
That's so
form
sick.
and your humanoid form. And the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
Bro.
Tell us about the color.
You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Dracthyr form.
But my favorite, super favorite part of customization for the Visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
Yeah.
The tech is here.
We finally did it.
No way, that's
As
sick.
players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon
Just
Isles,
can't resist,
they'll
right?
partner up with the Dragonflights to
I
move
love
through
dragons,
the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
And we're talking about something new called Dragonriding.
And as
Dragon
the players
riding.
are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for Dragonflight, we were going to have the opportunity to show players a whole new set of Dragon Isle drakes, completely unique from all the other things they've seen in World of Warcraft.
That is
And
so
we wanted to
cool
come up
about
with a
the
movement
dive
system
bomb, bro.
that would add
That is so
sense
cool.
of
That's
physics,
so
weight,
dynamic.
and gravity, like you were mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the engineering team, who we rely on heavily, and that combined with some new animations really helps to lend that feeling of physics as you move through the air in ways that you haven't before. And the icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've added on top of all of that. So for example, when you start hitting maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of immersion and sense of reality.
As players make their way through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options to fine-tune their Dragon Isle Drake's appearances. Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor,
Yes,
and
that's
more.
so sick.
Definitely. Okay, we want to provide players with
This is
all
sick,
new skills
Midori.
to play with, as
Come
those
back
who
to
can
WoW.
use their
It's
momentum
calling
well
you.
can reach higher and higher heights and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many new gorgeous options to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to work on, but I can't wait to actually get into game, play it with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. It's gonna be great.
Next up, you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes coming in Dragonflight.
Woo, the talent revamp. They have a lot. This music, yes. Retro music.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Laura. We are very excited to share you're finally revamping the WoW HUD UI.
And it is also time for a major revamp to talents and specializations.
I have a big question for the group. How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
15 years.
18 years. 18 years.
Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made the UI back in 2004. Now you have like bigger monitors, and us, we have better dev tools to work with. So it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully over the years. And if you look at the HUD, the HUD looks like it got frozen time.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create a layout experience that players could customize, move things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today, they do a lot for player customization.
The downside is that not everybody uses them. It's about time that
He does look like a
everybody
buff
has
Simon.
the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality, to improve accessibility in a lot of areas, and on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a
Nice.
big part of this project. The UI that we have today has a lot of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we want to respect the players who really like the current UI, but do a modern take to it, removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the
It looks
action
pretty
bars
sleek,
and the
actually.
bottom menus,
It looks like there's
they have
just
less
so much
health
extra room,
frames,
though.
and it can really open up your gameplay, so you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And
That's
of
very
course,
true.
we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure updating the griffins. They look so nice now. And
Oh,
the horde,
nice.
don't worry, we got
She's
you.
all just drawing
You're
it.
gonna have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We
No
are putting
way.
a mode in that
Horde's
will
gonna
let
finally have
players
their own.
move various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini map, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner. If I want to
customizable.
bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my
original.
character, those are all things that I'll be able to do.
Absolutely. And each of those different components will have various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it,
nice.
Name it.
That's something they took
they don't
from
remember which spec you're in.
FF14.
So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever HUD layout you have for that spec.
This is an ongoing project. We're gonna keep working on it. So
All right, Vin.
we really want to hear back from you.
A project
good
that we're all
change.
excited about that we've been collaborating a lot on is something that's pretty UI intensive, and that's the talent system. It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before, and we really started with how can we have players have more choice over what their character has? As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide.
I
the
might be
order.
down to do one
we
dungeon
started
after
looking
this,
for a
Vin.
system that would give players a much wider set of options. And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. but it's actually 2 trees. We have a class tree that offer different class utility, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Can I just jump in and say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
As we said, we have these 2 trees because we feel like picking the specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now. And so we want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something new. The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and part of that is encouraging players to perhaps make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most recent expansions, but not at the base UI.
We want you to be able to tinker with it. You know, we want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into. And so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school players, when you see trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
That is good.
Talents were really
That's
about
great.
the breadth of options.
I was
We've
like,
made all
man,
these different
having
cool
to do
things
that all
over
the
years,
time?
but when are they at their coolest? It's when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
So these are really cool features that we've been working long and hard on, and we're very excited about them. And it's just an early preview of the things we've been doing. We can't wait to see the reaction that you have to them, and please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions in Dragonflight.
Professions!
Hi, I'm Joanna.
And I'm Eric, and we're going to talk about our plans for professions in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever. And
Skyline, what's up?
Cool incremental updates over their life. But for Dragonflight, we want to do something a bit different. We really
How you
want
doing,
to rethink
Skyline?
professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player, if that's what you want.
We really want to make sure that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders. If you want to have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can basically browse any of the recipes that can be crafted, pick the one you want for yourself, and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can pick, do you want to send the order to anyone, sort of a public
This is
order,
dope.
or do you want to
No
send
worries,
it to a
Finn.
guild, or to a specific other person?
Yes, so
Maybe
it's
a
about
friend
the
who
new
knows
expansion
Warcraft
coming out
really
later
well
on.
for you.
If you are really dedicated to your craft, you're going to be the best at what you do.
One of the coolest things about this
Dragonflight.
is the item
World
you
of
had
Warcraft
crafted
Dragonflight.
can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound
Yeah.
items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat and really expands the number of items that we can provide that are really powerful because everyone can have them crafted through the crafting order system.
This is also really cool because it means as a crafter, you can start building your client base. People are going to come back to you to get certain items. Maybe you're the best at making it, or you always
Yep,
throw in a little
guild
something
crafting
extra.
orders.
You're also going to
Yep,
be
CO.
leveling up your profession. It's going to be really great.
So the first time you go to craft, you're gonna notice a lot of different things, but probably the biggest is the introduction of quality, both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just gonna be better. For a piece of gear, that probably
Higher
means a
quality.
higher item level. If it's, for
They did
instance, a
higher
potion,
quality. They
then
took
it
that
might
off
mean
of
a more powerful
FF14
effect at a
because they
higher
have high quality
And we're
crafts.
doing a lot of new things in the UI.
You can make it higher
put a lot
quality.
of work into it to make sure that the professions feel really special and unique.
And another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is the introduction of stats specifically to your professions, both crafting
Yep.
and gathering.
Yep.
This is another
They kind of just
major
took this off of
input
FF14.
into
I was just bringing that up about the higher quality
Probably the
too.
biggest source
Heck
of your
yeah,
ability to
Dubu.
craft
I'm
items
glad they're
at a
learning
higher
from
quality
FF14 in all the
is
right
through
ways.
crafting
You know,
specializations. We've had crafting specializations in the past, as far back as
I honestly
original World
hope
of Warcraft.
eventually
With
they upgrade to
Dragonflight,
Unreal
you
Engine
can go
5
out
for a
and
while, though.
earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways.
I don't- they don't have to do
maybe
that,
you find
but-
an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith, and you might
Right,
decide
Theo?
that first you want to become an armor smith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing, the better you're gonna get at crafting all armor.
This also means that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So this means that your guild could have several top blacksmiths and everybody's providing something unique and valuable to the team, which is
Yes,
really cool.
Dubu.
Now that
for sure.
reminds me of another update. We're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions.
Crafting
We're gonna take
tables.
those, and we're gonna put them all in the main city of Valdrakken. And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're
this
gonna
is
walk
going to
into
be
the
a
city,
good
you're gonna
expansion
see,
to get
like,
into it, because
all
you
these
could become a
alchemists
dragon
rolling over
race,
here, and
Orange.
you're gonna see all these blacksmiths
So,
over by the forge.
when this
There'll be
expansion
other
comes
players
out next
filling
year
orders
or the
grabbing
year
orders.
after,
It's gonna be a whole new
hopefully,
crafting area that's
not
gonna make
that
you feel
long, but-
really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about, though,
Yep,
is the
crafting
gear.
table.
We're introducing new types of gear for every profession, and when you go to,
Dope.
say, mine and node, you're actually going to just switch into that gear. It's going to be really great.
That's
You're
cool.
not gonna have to carry that stuff around in your backpack anymore. There's actually
Yes!
gonna be dedicated slots
We don't have
for each of your pieces of gear. But I'm a numbers guy. I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we
Yeah, I
mentioned
know that.
before
I know
on
what you
them.
mean from
And
craft-
as you
from
get your
ESO.
hands
I
on
played a
better
little bit of
versions
ESO.
gear, it's really gonna help you get better at your profession.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store for you in the coming months.
Until then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
I'm going. I would love to stream the betas. I would love to stream the beta if you guys would watch that. I would love to stream that. Heck yeah. Was that it? That was it. That was it, boys and girls. That was literally it. That was all. That was all of it. WoW 2? No, WoW 2 is graphics-wise for me in general for that. Dude, that was freaking sick. Oh, man, it ended just like abruptly. I was like, oh, man, I want to see what the chat is saying now. Oh, my God, release date? There was nothing. Yeah, no release date was given. None. No release date. No release date, no nothing like that kind of stuff. Oh, my God.